could be explored in cinema. I actually saw the movie when I was in college and I was just deciding to become a film major. I went with a bunch of friends in my filmmaking class and everybody began to realize that what we were watching was a game changer. And now, moving forward with the Star Wars movies. And the great thing about many of the filmmakers we're bringing into the family is that they're all fans. They all have a deep emotional connection to Star Wars. And I think that that's something that's really important as we look around and identify the people who will step in and direct these films. We're looking for caretakers.
My name is Gareth Edwards, and I'm the director of Rogue One.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
My really early memories of Star Wars, my mum and dad came back with a tape. It was A New Hope.
Use the Force, Luke.
Put it in, and I genuinely thought, I know what I'm doing for the rest of my life. The whole premise of the standalone movies is that they are unique and separate from the saga.
We destroyed our home.
They're really supporting the idea of this having a unique voice.
There we go.
As long as we stay true to the events and the characters. But Star Wars means the world to me.
I'm Kiri Hart, and I run the Lucasfilm Story Group. I spend a fair amount of time working on film development, but also games, publishing, animation. All the Star Wars storytelling that's going on is touched by the group in some way. Original trilogy era storytelling is very fun for me, and I have really been enjoying working on Rogue One for that reason. Just sort of touching a moment in Star Wars history that I really love. I grew up at the right moment to be an original trilogy kid. It just hit me at that perfect age. I saw A New Hope in the theater when I was 7, and it was a love affair from there on out.
I'm Pablo Hidalgo, and I'm a creative executive as part of Lucasfilm's Story Group. So the Story Group is very busy these days. We got a lot of tasks in front of us as we expand the Star Wars universe. We've got a lot of movies in development, television, animation, theme park experiences, books, comics, you name it. A big part of my job is knowing the Star Wars universe backwards and forwards and looking for those opportunities of connection. Together, we knew the story of Rogue One would come very close to the events of Episode 4. So we wanted to make sure that, as a piece of Star Wars history, it was accurate. I jokingly say to my wife when I leave for work in the morning, I gotta go make the Star Wars, right? But like I say that with absolute love, because how many of us can say that they get to shape and be involved with something that's meant so much to them for so much of their life? As a Star Wars fan, I am very lucky.
I am Dave Filoni, the executive producer of Star Wars Rebels. Every day I get to come in and tell stories in the Star Wars universe. Every day. Here's the dagger, the design of the hanger. I was really young when Star Wars first came out. In fact, the biggest memory I have is driving home after Star Wars, sitting in the back of our car. My brother and I were blasting all the other cars on the road like we're in the Millennium Falcon. Star Wars has a massive fan base. So I feel we have to keep earning that fan base. We have to live up to their great expectation. It's just part of the job. The amazing thing to me about Star Wars fans is they believe so much in that universe, and it's our responsibility to transport them back to it. Yeah, I am lucky that way.
My name is Doug Chiang. I'm the Vice President and Executive Creative Director for Lucasfilm. I've worked on Star Wars now for over 20 years because I started working with George back in 1995 in the prequels. What I do is I oversee all the design aspects for all the new Star Wars franchise development. So that includes feature films, theme parks, games, anything that's Star Wars related. And I had the great fortune of production designing Rogue One. Growing up in Michigan, I had no idea of anything of the film industry. But when I saw Star Wars when I was 15, it made me realize that's what I wanted to do. But I had no idea that people like me could actually even aspire to do something like that. And it was the following year that I saw the making of Star Wars. That documentary really affected me deeply because it really showed me that there were people who were doing this. The people that are behind the camera that actually do the craft.
My name is John Knoll. I'm visual effects supervisor and executive producer on Rogue One.
Well, Star Wars has a special place in my heart because when I was in high school, the first Star Wars film came out, and that was when I was just starting to get serious about what I was going to do ultimately as a career. I think the main purpose of these flybys is just so we've got a paint job that we can photograph and project onto the CG models. There was all this new excitement in the field. There was a big rush to make more imaginative and technically ambitious films. Really, without Star Wars, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Everyone on this project is here because of what Star Wars did to them as a child and the effect it had on them. And so you dream of making movies and getting a bullseye in the exhaust port of movie making.
This is a job of imagination and dreams where we can turn them into reality.
You go out in the world and you see a little kid engaging with Star Wars and you understand it's their parents that have brought them into this world. It's this great generational thing. And if I'm able to help give a father or mother that gift that they pass along to their children, I think, that's incredible.
There is the original trilogy generation. There's the prequel trilogy generation. There's the animated Clone Wars generation. And now kids are going to be the Rey, Finn, BB-8 generation. I don't know what it must be like to be a kid growing up with this much awesome. We're going to need those kids in the future to keep this thing going because there's a lot to do.
Within the Star Wars universe, there's endless possibilities to the stories we can tell. It's really exciting to think about.
May the Force be with us.